Here we are at the Langstroth hive. As you can see, I've got another brood box sitting next to it. It's empty, other than it's got 8 medium frames in it, which this is a deep. I don't have any deep frames right now, except for what's in my swarm trap here and my other Langstroth swarm traps. So my plan is to take each frame from the brown box and put them into the white box as I check them, and put the brown box on top of the white box. I built a bottom board and a new lid for this. I'm thinking that I can get some frames this week and get them out here. If I put the frames I have in my swarm trap in the middle of the top box, hopefully they will draw those out first, and it'll give me some time to get a few more frames out here. And I'll only leave a couple of frames on the outside, which they normally draw out last. So I'm going to get this opened up. I'm going to have to relight my smoker. I had it lit down at the Land's hive, but it's gone out. I didn't need it down there, but I'm going to relight it just in case I need it up here. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. This is a look of the hive from the back. As you can see, there's a lot of bees coming and going. I'm going to pop the inner cover and start transferring the frames one by one as I inspect them. So I'll bring you along for the process. Okay, here's the first frame. This is the one last week that had a little drawn comb. There were bees on it. Let me look here. I don't see any nectar or pollen on it. Don't see any brood either. There's a few hive beetles that they got corralled in the comb, but other than that, that's all I see. So I'm going to put that in the new box. And I'm going to put these back in this box exactly how they come out of the brown box. So let me get this other frame out and I'll be right back. Okay, here's the second frame, first side. A lot of bees, a little nectar. I don't see any brood. And here's the second side. Don't want to drop it. I've already checked to make sure the queen wasn't on it. And there's the second side. A little nectar, a few cells with pollen, but no brood. Gotta put this one down in here. Got it the wrong way. There it is. I'm gonna pull the next frame. Third frame, first side. Not a lot of nectar or pollen, no brood, a lot of bees. I'm gonna turn it around here. Here's the second side. A little bit of bee bread pollen and some nectar, but no brood. We're going to put this one in here. Okay, here's the fourth frame, first side. There is brood, some nectar, and some pollen. I'm looking to see that the queen's not on here. Let me turn it around and I'll show you the other side. And there's the other side, and there's the queen. She's headed around to the first side. This has got brood. Some nectar in amongst the brood cells, so they're backfilling it a little bit. I don't see a whole lot of open brood. There is a few, but it's looking good. I want to get this in the box before I lose my queen. Good frame full of bees. There's capped brood. There's open larvae. I see some bee bread. And a little nectar. Let me flip it to the other side. Same over here. A lot of capped brood, some open brood. I see some nectar, bee bread, so looking good. I want to get this one in the box. Number 6, first side, a lot of bee bread, capped brood. There's some larvae in there. I do see some nectar or honey, but I've not yet seen any capped honey, so they're using up their reserves. But the nectar should be flowing a little bit. I'll show you some trees that are blooming and they're working here in a bit. 6th frame, second side. And a lot of the same. A lot of bees in here. 7th frame, a lot of bee bread, capped brood, open brood. There's a little nectar and some pollen. 2nd side, a lot of bee bread, some nectar, capped brood. I think there's a little bit of open brood too. So, I'm gonna get this one in the box. 8th and final frame. Not seeing any brood, but there is a lot of bee bread. They're drawing a little new comb on this frame. There is a little bit of nectar. So, and as you can see, they're festooning over here. So, I hope they start drawing this frame out. 2nd side, same as first. Okay, this is all the bees that's left in the box. As you can see, there's a lot coming in the entrance down there with pollen on their legs. I'm going to put the frames out of the swarm trap in this box, and then I'm going to set the white box on top. Okay, there's the bottom box setup. There's 6 deep frames in the middle, and then a medium frame on either side on the outside. As you've seen in the other box, the outer frames aren't drawn as fast as the middle one, so I'm going to set that white box on top of this one and close it up. Okay, there it is. Just to recap, all that was in the brown box when I started is now in the top box, and the brown box below has 6 deep frames and 2 medium frames on one on either side of the deep frames. So I hope I didn't expand them too quick, but I had bees on nearly every frame, and I had, I think, 4 or 5 frames out of 8 that had brood. So they're going to be exploding pretty quick here. So I'm going to take a close look at the bees coming in, show you some of the pollen that's coming in. And oh, here's my swarm box, I put the medium frames in this swarm box just in case the swarm would happen to move in. They would have some frames to move in on and not just make comb everywhere. So I'm going to try to remedy that. Like I said, I'm going to get some more deep frames. As I said in the past, I don't plan on using too much of the Langstroth equipment, but I've got some here, so since I've got access to it, I am using it. But I'm going to get this all cleaned up here, and we'll go back down to Land's hive and take a look at the entrances and see what the bees are doing down there. This is one of the trees, or some of the trees I was referencing earlier that are in bloom currently. And I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's bees all over it. So there are several of these trees in this little patch here, and a few more around. So I think they're wild plums. But my phone keeps trying to shut the camera off to save battery, I think. It's getting low. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time out here at the bee yard.